I can't. People are out here making this. Hey babies, welcome back to Dismantling Hate. I'm your host David, and today we are going to be looking at Kingdom Story films. And the video we're going to be reacting to is called How Jewels Prove God Exists.
I don't know if that's true.
Parentheses, science is finally catching up. Yeah, because all the proof that you need is the simple existence of sapphire. The description of this video reads, you will learn about how these... That was so loud. Okay. You will learn how these gemstones and jewels in Revelation 21 and Exodus 28 prove that it's impossible that man could have written the Bible. Only God could know this.
Chandra.
Why do I do this to myself? I do this to myself for you. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna watch today. So I'm gonna slide myself on over. We're gonna roll the intro and let's get into it. And like it is walking the line of like freedom of speech. You know what? If we're gonna be out here and we're gonna be vulnerable on this channel for together, you and me, right now, right here, yeah. We should really be talking about that because that's harmful. All right, I'm ready. Are you ready? It's okay if you're not. Take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay because we're gonna do it together. Roll the transphobia.
This is how the gemstones in Revelation 21 and the jewels in Moses' time in Exodus 28 prove that God exists and that God is indeed the one who wrote the...
Indeed. Is this an AI generated voice? Is this all AI?
It's not giving anything.
I hate this already.
This modern day discovery proves that the Bible was written by God and not man. This revelation will shock you. Science has only just now caught up with what was written in the scriptures 2,000 years ago. These jewels prove the existence of God.
Well, that's simply not true.
Watch this. The New Jerusalem, as laid out in Revelation 21, will be made up of 12 precious stones that we would make into jewelry today. Now, here's the fascinating thing, which, to me, is the final proof that that Bible is the Word of God, that it must be God-inspired. In the last generation only, we've discovered how to make purer light than we had before. Most light is bouncing around, light waves crashing into each other, going in all different directions. For example, the light coming from a spotlight still lights the opposite side of my face by reflecting off walls and surfaces. Light comes at us from all directions. But we've now discovered how to send light in one direction. Laser light is the most common way to do this. We've all seen laser light beams straight as an arrow.
Talk. Shut up!
But we've also got what we call cross-polarized light. A polarized filter allows light through in that same way, but if you put another polarized filter at a right angle to that, now you've got an extremely fine filter. In the same way, if you take sunglasses and take one lens and put it at right angles to the other, it goes even darker. It only lets very straight light through. Now people have taken jewels and precious stones and cut a very thin slice for microscopic purposes and then shone cross-polarized light through them to see what happens. What happens to these precious stones in pure light? One of two entirely different things happens with every jewel. Either the jewel is an isotropic jewel or an anisotropic jewel. Now what happens is this. Some jewels in pure light, whatever their color, they may be red, blue or green, these jewels turn into all the colors of the rainbow and the most fantastic patterns. Other precious stones in pure light lose all their color and just go black and look like a lump of coal dust. And it's only in this modern generation that people have discovered this unusual property. For example, diamonds in pure light are nothing. Did you hear that? Diamonds are nothing.
This is so... What in the AI generated nonsensical garbage is this? This exists out in the world for people to watch. How many views does this have? This has 206,000 views. People are watching this and being like, yeah, the person that put together all this stock footage must know science. What?
In pure light, diamonds just display a lump of coal dust. Rubies and garnets are like diamonds. They just lose everything. These jewels are isotropic. But there are other stones that are anisotropic
And like, I don't know if this is correct, but really it doesn't matter if it's correct or not, because then taking this information, even if it is correct, and then transposing it onto the idea that only God could have done this, it's ridiculous.
they display these intense, beautiful colors. Now, here's the fascinating thing that blew my mind and I've never recovered.
Oh, you mean you, who's not a real person reading a script right now? You're just AI?
The 12 precious stones that God uses to build the New Jerusalem are all anisotropic. In pure light, they are all exceedingly more beautiful. And God is light.
Bathed in his blood.
So, imagine God's light shining through these anisotropic jewels.
Oh, so God must exist because only God would have known the differences between the stones? That's... okay. It's a reach. It's a reach.
God doesn't touch the diamonds or the rubies or the garnets. He doesn't build the New Jerusalem with them. But God does build with these anisotropic jewels, which I am about to reveal to you. Take a look at the picture on the screen of these stones. Look at the top 12 stones on this picture, and you'll see the stones of the New Jerusalem. Look at the 4 bottom ones at the bottom of the picture, and you'll see they're black, no attraction whatsoever. Now then, who knew this 2,000 years ago?
I can't. People are out here making this. This is ridiculous. I can't, like... I don't know. I don't know if it's true about the rocks. I don't know if it's true that this is written in the Bible. There could be so many biases at play, or it could be happenstance and circumstance. This is just ridiculous.
No scientist knew it, no philosopher knew it, nobody knew it. John the Apostle, writing down the book of Revelation as the Lord dictated it to him, he didn't know. Nobody knew except one person in the entire universe, the one who created all things, God himself. Where is this passage about the jewels written exactly?
Sure.
Revelation 21. Halfway through the chapter, you'll find all the 12 stones listed there. Starting in verse 19, you can read them. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth carnelian, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the 9th topaz, 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. No diamonds, no rubies, no garnets, because they're isotropic. Now, isn't that amazing? If it was up to me, I for sure would have included diamonds and rubies in my collection of gemstones to build the most beautiful new kingdom, as would most people. On Earth, husbands adorn their brides with diamonds.
Come on, heteronormativity.
Because we all consider them some of the most beautiful jewels on the planet. But God has known the properties of diamonds and other isotropic gemstones all along. And God was his New Jerusalem to be an extraordinary kingdom of light.
This picture here of like the floating heaven in the sky, like, is this...
Hari, that's heaven, Hari.
Is this what they're picturing in their heads? Because this is how it seems to me, of this like floating AI fake nonsense in the sky. Like, how are you in the sky but still within an atmosphere to have clouds? Is it on its own planet but still floating in the air? And just the base are these isotropic stones? I think I said that wrong, but really, does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. This is...
made through the only jewels that will magnify the light. This one thing alone proves that the Bible was inspired by God because...
How? This does not prove nor disprove. This doesn't do anything. This is asinine.
Nobody could have known this. No one knew about this until our generation. You can just imagine how beautiful the New Jerusalem is going to be. No need for do-it-yourself decoration there. No need for pictures or murals. No need. The materials that God uses will be far more than enough. Now, what's even more fascinating is that the jewels listed in Revelation 21, written by John 2,000 years ago, was not the first time we heard of these jewels. In order to find the original source of this particular collection of jewels, we need to go back 1,300 years before Christ, all the way back to the time of Moses. Back in Exodus 28, verse 17 through 21, God told Moses to write down the 12 gemstones that were to be on the breastplate of the high priest as he would minister in the tabernacle in the holy place. The 12 gemstones in Exodus 28 are the same gemstones in Revelation 21. Exodus was written about 3,300 years ago. God set it up in such a way that the 12 gemstones on the priest's breastplate would represent the 12 tribes of Israel, just as the 12 gemstone foundations of the New Jerusalem represent the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Now inside the tabernacle of Moses, it was completely dark, except for the light of the lampstand, the menorah. Imagine how the light from the menorah would pass through the gemstones on the priest's breastplate. What a sight to behold. But that is just a small glimpse of what the New Jerusalem will be, as the entire foundation of the kingdom will be made of gemstones reflecting the light of the glory of God. It would be impossible for Moses to have known the difference.
The animated one. I can't believe this is actually online for people to consume.
Between isotropic and anisotropic jewels 3,000 years ago. Moses was not shooting laser beams through gemstones under microscopes in his billion-dollar science laboratory to find out which ones were isotropic and which ones were anisotropic. Moses was simply dictating the instructions given to him by God.
Oh, so Moses had schizophrenia? Is that what we're saying here?
God and God alone knew since the beginning of time what science has only just discovered now.
No.
These 12 jewels, recorded in the scriptures thousands of years ago, prove that God was the author of the Bible and the creator of the world.
This is ridiculous. We need to go into the comments of this. Oh, there's a Patreon. Yeah, this is fascinating. When I got married 40 years ago, I didn't want a diamond. I wanted a pink sapphire. Diamonds seemed boring to me. After watching this, I know why. Our God is so good. From heaven above, with wisdom, power, and love, our God is an awesome God. Oh, God. Yeah. Wow. This reminds me of Rihanna's song, Shine Bright Like a Diamond. In the occult, Lucifer, Lucy, is the light bearer, aka the false light. He shines bright like a diamond, but is really black or dark when hit with pure light. The light of Jesus Christ gives a new meaning to the "you don't know what I am doing now, but you will later" heart. Yeah, what a nice way just to eliminate any sense of critical thinking or discernment skills into the hands of an omnipotent God that I don't believe exists. This is crazy. Like, it's also really interesting that they're definitely moderating their comments, because I do not have 374,000 subscribers. I have 374, and I get people messing with me in my comments and disagreeing with me. Even the folks that like my content and agree with mostly what I have to say, they can disagree at points, and I think that's good. I think that's great. Please, if you disagree with this, if you think that God himself selected the 12 whatevers to build the whatever in the sky, write it in the comments. Unless you're being hateful and gross to me, I'm going to leave your comment up, because I think that's an important part of this conversation. But these comments are so heavily moderated because every single one agrees with the video. And like, that's fine. It's just weird. At the end of the day, science disproves religion. It does. There's no proof of this, and the burden is not on me to disprove your God. The burden is on you to prove your God, and that can't be done. And you can't just lay back and say things like, where was that comment? It gives a new meaning to "you don't know what I'm doing now, but you will later," where it's all just like this fun, like, wink from God that one day it'll all make sense. Like, no, one day you're gonna die.
And I'm at peace with that.
Thank you for the video. I have always had a fascination with gems. As a Christian, God called me to become a graduate gemologist. Gems, along with everything around us, visible and invisible, proves there is a God. No, it doesn't. Anyway, babes, that brings us to the end of this very short video here. Thanks for watching. This was a one-off. I'm just fascinated by all of these different YouTube channels putting out videos like this that are so obviously AI and rooted in fantasy, but so many people play along with it. It's because maybe you're not paying attention to these kinds of things that exist out in the world. And you know what? That's fair, because it's boring, it's falsified, and in my opinion it takes advantage of vulnerable people, which I think is really gross. And if there was a God, she would condemn you for that behavior. But anywho, I just wanted to watch this because the gemstones proving the existence of God really piqued my interest when I saw that thumbnail. So thanks for joining me on this one. If you want more from me, I have a whole slew of Dismantling Hate videos you can watch on the playlist that comes up on the end screen. I have a podcast called D-Talk that you can watch on YouTube and listen on Spotify. I got all kinds of things. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you're interested in that. Thanks for getting to the end. I appreciate you being here. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I'd really love to know, especially if you believe that gemstones prove the existence of God. I think that'd be fascinating to hear your perspective. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and until the next one. And like, it is walking the line of like freedom of speech. You know what? If we're gonna be out here and we're gonna be vulnerable on this channel here together, you and me, right now, right here, yeah. That is so... We should really be talking about that, because that's harmful. All right, I'm ready. Are you ready? It's okay if you're not. We'll take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay, because we're gonna do it together. Roll the transphobia.